This is for the players.
I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Josh Saunders.
And this is for the players, the PopCulturists PlayStation Podcast. With almost 40 years of playing PlayStation and 5 years in the games media combined, we thought we could throw a hat into the ring and join that PlayStation conversation.
If you also wish to join the PlayStation conversation, you can do so at YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, Facebook, and all other major social media outlets. But the main conversation happens on our Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/thepopculturists. And then even more conversation happens on our Patreon at patreon.com/thepopculturists. Check it out. There might be a tier there that interests you.
And that's for if you really, really like us.
That's if you really do.
I enjoyed that spill last week when you're like, if you like us, go here. If you really, really like
if you
us.
somehow really like us.
if you really enjoy this garbage, like patreon.com.
Yeah, see, I don't even like us enough to be a patron.
Oh. Neither do I. I'm not a patron.
So, today's
So this is a little bit different.
Yeah.
So this is a different format compared to the regular for the players. So normally we would kick off with what we've been playing, and then we jump into the news, and then we would jump into the topic and whatever. Mm-hmm. So today we are just solely talking about the conference that took place
today.
10-ish hours ago at time of recording.
Yeah, they're about right.
Yeah, about 10 hours ago. Now, I've only just watched this. I had to go to work today like a fool. So I came home, live streamed it for you lovely folk that joined me. Man, like I wasn't going to do it. And this morning I was like, Ubisoft, I'm like, okay, we're done. I'm not going to stream Sony. I'm going to go to work and I'll watch it when I get home and then we'll do something. And they're like, why don't you just stream it? We'll watch it with you. I'm like,
you got to give the people what they want because we have very few people, so we need to keep those people happy.
Yeah, those 4 people, like, we'll watch it with you. I'm like, okay.
Okay, good watch along.
So I was like, yeah, cool, I'll come. I'll you guys can, if you've watched it before me, you can watch me react to it and then get some enjoyment out of that way. And by the sounds of it, they surely did.
They did.
They had a great time.
I jumped in for a little bit too. I was the silent.
Oh, were you lurking?
I lurk a lot.
Oh, you best.
On the streams.
Oh, you
Depends what kind of mood.
I appreciate the view, but you best.
Jump in, give it a like, hang out for a bit.
I like how you jumped in.
Bail out, give the.
I like how you jumped into the Bethesda one. Was like, this sucks, and then left.
I was there for the last 5 minutes because I watched the Bethesda one separately. Don't hate. I was watching it at the same time, and then it was closing up, and I went to see what you were thinking about it, and yeah, just kind of ragged on it for a little bit. I had to voice my frustration with that conference.
But that's coming in the next couple of days.
Yeah.
That is Monday's episode of For the Players. We're going to talk about how Sony compared to everybody else and where sort of everybody else stands. We have a lovely special guest lined up. Mm-hmm. So
we're not name dropping yet.
We're not name dropping yet.
Ooh.
Kind of surprised. But let's get into the conference. Now, do you want to get your overall thoughts out of the way initially? Before we got breaking it down bit by bit?
Yeah, okay. Initial thoughts are obviously not as strong as last year.
Yeah.
I'm of a mind where they maybe announced too much last year and had no big surprises to drop on us this year because last year they name dropped God of War, Detroit. What was the other one?
Days Gone,
and coming through
Death Stranding,
and then you come through to this one and we still have Days Gone. I'm sick. Sorry, Days Gone, God of War, and Detroit. And nothing really new. So I'm thinking maybe they could have held off on one. Imagine if they held God of War from last year to here and it's like it's out in like 6 months.
That'd be amazing.
That would have been huge. But it was a good conference. The message was very, very clear from the start. Games the whole time. And I love how they don't bring people to prattle on stage for 5 to 10 minutes. They don't bring the developers out to talk about the game for 10 minutes. Just here's a whole bunch of fucking trailers, which seems to be the way they're going now. Just here is everything we're working on right now. And some dates if we have them. With Sean Layden out there for a little bit, thank you, I'm excited, all the usual kind of jib-jabs. It was a good conference. Not as strong as last year, obviously, but it was there's a lot to be excited for. Yeah,
I have very similar thoughts to what you have. It was great. It was, in terms of a conference, it was a solid conference. I do certainly think they went a little, let's say now, like last year, I'm like,
Yeah, and also last year it's like you kind of think also, well, how do they one up that the next year? And you
Yeah,
you can't.
and like that was my concern. Like in the moment of last year, I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah, and it still is. It still is one of the best conferences of
Yeah,
all
but I mean,
time.
like the only problem is like at that time I wasn't thinking,
What
oh
about next
man,
year?
what's the next one gonna be?
Yeah.
I didn't think about that. Look, so there was a lot here, but also not much here.
There's a lot here, but also it was a lot of more info on what we saw last year.
Yeah, with a couple little surprises in there that were nice.
Yeah, there's a few things on the list I'm excited
But
for.
let's get into it starting from the top. Now the show opened with something we already knew about. That's so Sony have a pattern.
Mm-hmm.
They launch with something that you know about to get you familiar, get you sort of feeling it,
Yeah.
and then they start and they sort of go from there.
So I'm liking how they're starting with their little orchestra or music pieces.
I'm
and
glad
stuff.
that orchestra was back.
It's a nice touch. You know, they had the God of War orchestra last year. I don't know if it's the same orchestra this year. It was just 4 or 5 people playing instruments. But as soon as the music hit, it's like, I know what game this is. It was very...
I knew in a second, but at the same time, there was an audio issue when they actually showed the first 2.5.
Yeah,
2.5 things, and this is the Sony stream issue. And look, it's almost like they were recording all the trailer audio from the microphone on the guy's flute.
Yeah, well, they were pulling the audio from the auditorium instead of switching the sources over to the actual input.
Yeah, but when they transferred it, there was clearly someone sliding.
Yeah,
They just forgot to
click that button.
turn on the important
That's okay,
one.
though.
But they kicked things off with the Lost Legacy, starting with some nice sort of sitar and flutes and violins and very mood music in terms of this is setting the scene of where this is located.
The Middle Eastern kind of
Yeah.
music. Unfortunately, I don't give a dick about this game
Damn, why is that?
at all. I'm just not feeling it with this game. To me, Uncharted is always, Nathan Drake, and I'm sure it's the same for a lot of other people, but maybe it's because I haven't finished 4 yet that I don't really have that care for the characters, except what Chloe was in 2.
Yeah. And then Nadine is a brand new character from Uncharted.
Yeah, so Chloe, I don't know, she's cute, but I didn't really click with her character through number 2, so I don't know. Depending on the pricing down here is whether I'll pick it up or not, or I'll just wait for a PSN sale down the line.
I'm the like I've finished 4. I love 4. I'm interested in this in terms of how it's going to help build the world out. I don't see it as a must buy for me yet. So simply because in the same boat as you, for me, Uncharted is the Nathan Drake story. It's Nathan, it's Sully, it's Elena.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
And the question is, does that world need to be built out at all?
I think I can't.
I don't know.
Don't see it hurting.
Yeah.
Unless it's them attempting to sort of be like. I don't think it's that way because Naughty Dog have developed this, so it's not as if it's Sony going, "Hey, can you try Uncharted with other characters to see whether we can get some more?"
It's definitely like Naughty Dog. Like, no, we want to do this.
This is a story they
So
want
we're
to tell,
going
and I
to
think
do
that's
this.
incredibly important.
Yeah, I like how Naughty Dog are getting into this thing of DLC that's not DLC, standalone DLC. How you like with The Last of Us, they had
Left Behind.
Left Behind, which was a really nice little story. I think it was maybe $20, worth every penny.
It's about 3 hours long.
Yeah,
nothing too
I like
crazy.
it. I like that model of things, I guess. But that also means, well, they don't really do season passes either, do they? No, forget that remark.
Uncharted 4 had a season pass.
Did it? For multiplayer and
but
stuff.
there's a lot of multiplayer and the DLC.
Yeah.
This is a really weird show. You're sick as shit. I've been up since like 4:30 this morning. Thanks Ubisoft.
Yeah.
So like I'm knackered.
But Ubisoft conference was pretty good.
pretty
Not
good.
that we're
We'll
talking
get
about
into
that now. Yeah.
Moving right along, they've gone to the Horizon DLC.
Yes.
Yeah, what was it called again?
I forget. But it made
Winds of Winter or something?
Yeah, something like that. It made total sense though. Like,
Do you want to
I should have put it as one of my predictions because the timing did seem
I
right
did
for that
think-
to happen.
It's funny because
But it didn't cross my mind when we were doing our predictions.
no, not at all.
I'll get the
Yeah, so this is for me. This is gonna be interesting. 'Cause having not finished Horizon,
the Frozen Wilds.
The Frozen Wilds. I'm gonna write that down because I'll forget. Having not finished Horizon, I don't know where this goes
Okay.
in terms of time.
Yeah. What do you mean time?
In terms of where it fits in the story.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't know what happens to Aloy at the end. Please don't spoil it for me.
I won't.
So I'm not quite sure whether this fits tonally.
Not that you're ever going to finish it anyway.
No, maybe.
You're probably not.
I got some days off. I might chill out.
No, I'm stoked. I'm excited. I'm very excited. Because I've platinumed Horizon, so I'm like totally ready to jump into something new without anything pulling me back Then I'm thinking, I still need to go back and do that and that and that. It's all done. So as soon as this DLC drops, I'm straight into it.
Yeah, I'm keen to say it. Next up is Sony Ben's Days Gone. Oh, actually, was there a release date for Horizon?
Talk about Days Gone. I'll have a look.
All right, so then they moved into...
I wrote dates on my piece of paper, but I forgot to bring it because I was in a rush to get here.
That's weird. So next up was Sony Ben's Days Gone. Now, this showed a lot more gameplay, which is interesting. A bit more of... rather than sort of the chaos... Well, there was still the chaos of the freakers in there, but not... You weren't fighting them directly. It was more of you tackling a base camp and how you can use these freakers or these zombies to your advantage.
How you can interact with the world to get the freakers to go where you want to go to maybe make things easy for you. Because I'm sure there's not a way, and maybe till later in the game, that with a pack that size, there's nothing you can do. If you get seen, you're fucked. Well,
that's what I'm trying to think, because they showed a lot of, in terms of you manipulating this pack of freakers.
Sorry, just on Horizon later this year.
So just 2017.
Yeah. Yeah, you can manipulate them in a lot of different ways with, sounds or there was the scene in the camp where he had the bear trap that he lured the guy into, and then he started screaming, which triggered the freakers heard the screaming, and they all ran over, and then you sneak past. Yeah, it seems cool.
Yeah, and then he shows this sort of barrier, which is between them and the freakers, and he blows that out. The freakers hear the explosion, come running, clear out the camp.
I am impressed. I'd imagine that demo was running on a Pro. But with the amount of shit going on the screen, and all the different freakers are obviously have their own inputs because they're all doing different things and moving different ways and reacting to different things, seem to run really, really smoothly.
Yeah, it's true. It did seem to run really quite well. In the end, we get a zombie bear. A zombie?
That looked pretty fucking rad.
Oh, rad!
That looked really
I'm watching
rad.
and I'm like, okay, this is a little bit more of what we've seen last year.
Yeah.
I thought they were really going to touch more into the story side of things rather than just showing some gameplay. Like, give me a reason to care for this dude.
Yeah, well...
But then they're like, he's on bear, and I'm like, nah, man.
Yeah, man. Well... near the start where he's on his bike and the tripwire pulls him off and he's fighting those two guys. Number one, the faces looked really bad.
Yeah, I had a bad stream, so I didn't know.
The faces looked really kind of basic, and then as they're laying into him, it didn't seem like he was like reacting to the punches.
Okay.
They were swinging into him, but it didn't seem like they had no impact to the physical combat. So I'm hoping that will be fixed a bit later.
I'll probably end up watching, because I said I watched it on a sort of a poo stream. I watched it on a stream in a stream. So
on a stream in a stream on a shit TV.
On a shit TV. Fucking need a new TV in here. It's so bad.
Yeah, we'll get it. Don't worry. But
Patreon, please.
It seemed
So I'm gonna probably watch it on the 4K after this.
Yeah, the physical combat didn't seem very meaty. Like in The Last of Us, this game's always going to get compared to The Last of Us.
It will. It's very tonally different.
Until it's out,
similar,
at least. In The Last of Us, as you're throwing punches and hitting dudes, you fucking
like that
feel
thump.
It is a thump. It has a wet sound to it as they start to die.
And it's like because it's brawling. Like it's very
visceral.
Yeah, visceral is what I'm looking for. So it's very sort of like. It's intense. It's heavy.
But from what I saw in this, the physical combat didn't seem to have a lot of grunt behind it, which you would imagine it would have in that kind of world. So I'm just wondering if that was where it's at in the development stage or something.
And what's interesting, no date.
No dates.
That is garbage.
Oh, well, it's ready when it's ready.
Like that was like I didn't realize until after it kept moving forward. I'm like, okay, wait, did Days Gone get a release date or even release window? Nothing. No. Absolutely nothing. No. That kind of ruins my prediction. My prediction was reliant on God of War and Days Gone like working interchangeably.
Yeah.
Well, that ain't happening.
Well, the three big games from last year, Days Gone, God of War, and Detroit, all didn't get a date, an actual
spoilers.
Date.
We'll get it.
People have seen it. If they're listening to this, they've seen it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A couple of them got windows, but like you said, Days Gone didn't even get not
even a window. Not even like 2018. It's like, I don't know.
But the next thing up really surprised me, and I am so super keen
This was fascinating. So when this first jumped up, I'm like, a dude with a big sword, thinking Bloodborne.
Saw dinosaurs, I thought, Turok?
Yeah, I'm like, Turok, no, this isn't like, I'm like, Turok, no, Turok was more action shooter. So this is a bit interesting. Like, is it Dino Crisis? Well, it's not going to be Dino.
It's a dead franchise, you've probably heard one.
Extinct, in fact. Yes, I'm looking at this, I'm like, what the fuck is this? It's like, because Bloodborne, the Soulsborns have always had weird...
The big weapons.
Weird environments, right?
Yeah.
I'm like... Okay,
the weapon's bigger than your character.
Yeah, is this one in a forest? This is dumb. Yeah. And then, like, there's a lot of, like, you can see a lot of gathering and a lot of scavenging. I'm like,
That's not part
fuck
of.
is
That's not
this?
what From Software
Like
do.
that's not the Soulsborne that I know.
Yeah, and it wasn't also graphically up to par with them either.
Yeah,
at
I'm
that
like, this is
point.
strange. Once again, bad stream, didn't know.
No.
I'm like, this is interesting. All right, keep moving on forward. And then this big dinosaur, I'm like,
Yeah.
there's
Oh, it's a
the-
T-Rex.
I'm
Oh,
like-
wait, it has wings and
I'm
a
like,
nose
I'm
thing.
like, there's dinosaurs in Bloodborne? I was like, what the fuck happened to its face?
Yeah.
And it has wings? I'm like, what the? And then someone in the chat, Jet, one of the lovely new viewers that we met at Geelong Gaming Convention, he's like, is it Monster Hunter? I'm like, it's Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
Of course
as
it
soon
is.
as you put that name to it, it makes total sense. And I'm so keen.
See, you know what's fascinating about this? Monster Hunter has been a Nintendo franchise, a Nintendo staple for actual years.
Well, they're up to Monster. I think Switch is getting Monster Hunter 10.
Yeah. This is an incredible pull by PlayStation.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, this is insane. Like, I can't even... Like,
I don't know if it's actually exclusive to PS4.
regardless...
I think it's actually a multi-console release.
Regardless... Having it on Sony's conference as well, like that's huge. Like, granted, obviously, Microsoft are trying to bring in sort of more Japanesey sort of devs and games.
Yeah,
but this
We've
is the
said
place.
Neo
This is the
and
place.
Nier.
Yeah, this is the place to put it.
Yeah, and Monster Hunter is it really is. I think the best I can relate it to now for people that haven't played it is like Breath of the Wild, as in. Kind
In terms of open,
go where you want. You need to gather food. You need to cook it. You need to eat. You need to camp.
yeah,
But then you've got, as we saw in the trailer, these huge creatures that you have to somehow try to take down. And the character they were playing had like a cool, like, he got thrown off the T-Rex, he had like grappled back onto its neck. And he had some other cool like things, and then at the end he did have like a machine gun or something as well. The Monster Hunter games are the kind of game where you turn it on, sit down, and just get lost for hours.
yeah, it's one of those ones you can't sing 20 minutes into. Like,
No.
you're going to be there a long time.
You could turn it on for 20 minutes and maybe cook food for your next day when you're going to sit down for 8 hours.
But that's looking at an early 2018 launch window.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of big, speaking of large, in fact, Shadow of the Colossus.
Now,
Blue Point, which remade the PS3 remaster with the Ico collection. Cool. These guys also did the Uncharted Nathan Drake collection, so they know what they're doing.
Okay, right. Yeah, I didn't know that.
But this looks like to be noticeably improved from the PS3.
It looks great.
It looks fantastic.
Graphically, it looks fantastic. I've never played a Ico game.
Me either.
Well, you got The Last Guardian.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, when I think
not the original
Ico,
ones.
I think Ico and Shadow.
Yeah.
Like I see Last Guardian as separate.
Depending on the price, I'm keen to pick it up and try it to see what all this fuss is about.
Yeah, we'll reach out. We'll
But
get, we'll
depending
get a
on the
code.
price.
We'll get a code.
even though we get codes, I still enjoy buying games.
Yeah.
Because the code games are either digital or the red and white. promo
Yeah, they're kind of
disc.
boring. Yeah.
And I enjoy having a little bit of OCD with my games, just having the cases all lined up.
So you know what's amazing
properly.
though, but convenient, like the shelf that I used to store my games on, it has 4 different size things. It's like a small one, then a DVD size. It's like a CD, DVD, CD, DVD. So it's perfect for me.
Oh, it fits well.
It fit like all the slip cases of the codes of like the
Promo
press
discs.
promo discs.
Yeah.
Perfect. And then all the other games go on the other shelf. Promo. Perfect. I love it. So 2018 as well. So we're looking at next year. So look, I've never played that. When I have gone and looked at it, because I did consider buying the Ico collection.
Yeah.
Recently actually, just sort of, I'm like, this seems like a game I should have probably played. I watched the trailer for it to sort of get a rough gauge of where it sits in terms of graphical side of things. It looked very open, but as like when I say open, as in like you're a person on a horse, big open nothing, big thing in the distance.
Yeah.
As in, like, it looks, whenever you go back to look at games that you think were big and open world, there's a lot of flat and then things. And
Ocarina of Time,
Yeah,
for example. Rated, one of, at least in the top 5 best games ever. But you go back and play it now, and it is just big open nothing. It's just a lot of open space with maybe a bush in the middle.
And that's what kind of I was like, no, I'm not feeling this
the
bush.
The thing with Shadow of the Colossus 2 is, it's got all the prestige from 15 years ago, roughly however long it's been. You can remaster it all you want here, but how does it play compared to today's standard? The reason they were popular back then was for a reason. Like the first of its kind. We hadn't seen anything like that before. There was nothing to compare it to. And then by today's standard, will it?
So that's what I'm
be on
hoping with
par?
Bluepoint, right? So Bluepoint actually did a little bit, like, rather than just sort of bringing Uncharted 1 and 2 and 3 to a PS4 standard, they also sort of tweaked the first one a little bit to bring it more in line with how games are played now.
Yep.
Like if you go back and play the original on PS3, the controls are fucking janky as shit.
Yeah.
So I think there would be a bit of under the hood working as well for that.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm
curious to see.
Keen to try it.
To say the least.
Not game of show.
No.
But
Something that didn't catch my interest at all, really. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Show a bit more of what the story is, I guess. All the characters look like Rob Liefeld
it
drawings.
is just a fighting game, right?
It is a fighting game.
Okay, because there was no actual like gameplay footage there. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, it looked like Rob
Until-
Liefeld drawings with like big fucking titties on
Yeah,
Aquaman.
until
Aquaman on
Thanos
a
came out at the
thing.
end to like punch on. I'm like,
But even then,
it's
like,
the fighting game.
See, like Thanos looked weird to me.
Yeah,
Gamora
I
looked
pictured him
weird to
bigger.
me. Maybe it's the style,
It seems like a fun crossover if you're a fan of Capcom and Marvel.
which I'm not really
I'm
a
not
fan
a fan
of either.
of Marvel.
See, this is
Capcom-
right. Dylan is keen as shit for this game.
I'll bet he is. Like, I saw when I saw Dante on the screen from Devil May Cry, I was like, holy shit, it's Dante. Then it opened up to what it was like. Oh, okay.
Like, I'm like, oh, Mega Man, you look really weird compared to everybody else.
Yeah, why are you so big? I pictured you smaller. He was like same height as everybody.
Well, there's different times. There's different times Mega Man. There's the little Mega Man. There's the tall and lanky little Mega Man.
Okay.
All the Mega Mans.
I never played Mega Man. September 19th.
And a
release
single
date.
player demo is available now, which is kind of cool. I'm thinking I might download the demo just to try it. To sort of, be able to have something to talk about on the show.
I'm all cool for mashups and stuff. But this one in particular just doesn't interest me at all.
Next up was Call of Duty World War II.
I think this, for me, was when I kind of started to wane interest a little bit. It's the World War II trailer that we saw. I think it was probably 4 or 5 minutes. Like, it was a long demo. It looks great, but it's still just nothing we haven't seen before at this point.
And I think that's the problem. In the same way that, because Call of Duty has now defined what we see modern shooters to be, as a result, every game looks like Call of Duty. So when Call of Duty comes out, you're like, oh, I've seen it before. Because you've seen it in Call of Duty, you've seen it in every other game.
Yeah.
They've created such a staple in the first-person shooter genre.
Yeah, and there's nothing new they can do anymore. They can change the setting and everything, but it's still just a competitive FPS.
What I'm curious to see about Call of Duty World War II is that what kept them fresh, well, quote unquote fresh, in the last handful of games is like, you can now jump higher, you can do this. Like, they added those little features. Now they've stripped that back to nothing at this point.
Yeah.
Like, this is grounded. This is like proper World War things, right? Now I loved World at War on the PS3. That's where I played it, and I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. For me, I hope they rely back on storytelling rather than gimmicky tech.
Yeah.
This is just a solid story.
Yeah, but then
World War II.
also with Call of Duty, for the most part anyways, since Modern Warfare probably 2, and probably Black Ops 1 and 2 actually, the story's taken a sidestep to focusing on the competitive multiplayer esport scene as well. They'll just throw in an 8-10 hour story. Some of them are really good. Some of them are just fucking trash.
Yeah, Ghost as an example is horrendous, but I think they put more care into them than people will initially think, and when people make the assumption. Now, as I said, I picked up Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Harvey Norman seemed to be no longer dealing with games, so they cleared out their warehouse, like $20. All right, and I think I might stream it to sort of give me the motivation to play it. Apart from $20, like I'm
just want
curious
to
to
play
see.
Modern Warfare.
No, they didn't give me the
What?
legacy one.
What?
Because that's still like $90. I'm like, fuck that noise. That'll be announced for single player. It'll be announced by itself soon.
I think they would have done it at this conference if they were going to.
Activision have got time.
Maybe it'll be announced at BlizzCon.
Yeah, could be something
No,
like
it won't.
that. No.
BlizzCon just talk about their own shit.
November 3rd, as always, the week of my birthday. It always comes out first week of November.
And it used to be an easy birthday present for you, but
now
interest has waned.
No, thank you.
Just give me a gift card.
A couple of years ago, even up until, I guess,
There's Black Ops 3.
Black Ops 2, I think, was the last one that I was like, my sister bought me Black Ops 3 for my birthday.
Yeah.
So I guess that would have been the last one.
Because we played it at EV Expo.
Yeah, I was like, that was pretty fun good. And yeah, pick that up for me.
Had a lot of fun.
Now, this next one was my draw drop moment of the show.
It hit you that hard, did it?
Only because I didn't expect it.
Right.
in any shape or form.
How many times are you going to pay for this game?
More.
How many have you paid for it so far? 3?
3.
Yeah.
Skyrim VR.
Yeah.
Now this is very interesting. So this morning or last night, I can't remember when, in a group that we're a part of on Facebook, I actively made a status that said, because Bethesda announced Fallout 4 VR and Doom VR available for the Oculus.
Mm-hmm.
And
why not PSVR?
I said that. I'm like, why is it not on PlayStation? PlayStation VR is the only VR company or VR headset manufacturer to actively announce how many units they've sold. Yep. They've sold over 1 million units. People love Fallout. Go where the units are. That makes sense. I'm like, is this some sort of bad blood garbage for Sony being shit about the mods? I'm like, is this some bad... Because Bethesda actively were like shitty at Sony for the mods, right?
Sure.
So I thought, is this some sort of repercussion to sort of be like, no,
fuck you.
You fucked us around. You don't get what everybody wants.
But then that would shoot Bethesda in the foot too because of how many more of those units.
Yeah, you would think that. But like, you think in that case they would at least try to put on there, right?
Anyway, that's why they didn't.
Yeah, and then they've gone, hey, Skyrim VR.
You can have the better game on VR. Skyrim
or the less
shits
demanding. The less demanding.
Well, yeah, but I've paid for Skyrim 3 times at this point. I've got PS3, PC, and then the remaster.
Same here,
this month. Skyrim VR is exactly the kind of game VR needed. Just not some janky 20-minute like let's play, have some fun like Job Simulator. Not a 2-hour experience. No, but you know what I mean. Not a 2-hour experience like the Batman one.
Yeah.
A full-on fucking open world. Do what you want. Fight dragons and cave diving and all that in VR. VR has nothing even close to that at the moment.
You know what is crazy? One of the first games I played on my VR was Skyrim, but in theater mode.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is impressive.
Yeah. This could be more impressive.
I'm like, this could be like, imagine if we played this in VR, and it is 100% available.
I've got a lot to say about.
This is where we jump into this is where we jump into the VR.
We're in the VR section now, which Bethesda. They are making so much money off this game,
dude. They are milking this shit
because it's coming to Switch as well, as it was announced.
Now we should notice as well that we weren't talking about the Switch one, but they've called it just Skyrim. The Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim VR. Yep. So it's not Skyrim Special Edition VR. It is I think it's vanilla Skyrim with VR capabilities.
I'd imagine it's vanilla Skyrim, but with all the DLC as well. But as far as the graphic, the graphics and all that.
I'm curious whether it's even a slightly toned down version of Skyrim, like because it was just.
Are we talking about the Switch or for VR?
For VR,
yeah, right.
The Switch is just vanilla.
Yeah,
with probably maybe DLCs, maybe. Mm-hmm. I'm curious on how they've remade this and how they've adapted it to VR. Are we getting just a 4-hour experience, or is it literally Skyrim in VR?
Hey, the way I saw in that trailer, I saw at least 8 different locales that are all fucking 10 hours apart. So as far as I'm concerned from that trailer, it's the whole game.
Ooh, damn!
All I saw, all that got me though is the bow and arrow. Shaky hands.
Yeah, that's...
you pull it, and it's on like a weird angle.
So I'm curious, like, can I use... Because like there was hands, so it's clearly motion controlled. Like,
yeah, the moves, dual wielding and spell casting and
shit.
Shit.
Oh man, I'm gonna get so tired.
What?
I'm gonna punch my TV.
Oh, if it's VR and you're playing like a stealth archer, do you have to like keep crouching and shit in IRL?
Oh, my quads.
It's like the camera's like tracking the visor, so you have to like crouch to duck.
That'd be exhausting.
Man, you would be like 30 kilos in a month.
But what I'm curious though is like without thumbsticks, how do you move?
Maybe it's like the tipping forward, pulling back.
But then if you're sword fighting, you'll constantly be just whipping back and forward.
Maybe
it might have the
it's only
jump.
if you tip the both of them forward. No, they were walking around in the trailer. It's not that stupid jump business. That's what pulls me out of VR. The jump. Not being able to walk.
Yeah.
I don't like it. From what I saw in the trailer, there was no jumping around.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how it works. I don't know how.
Imagine, you know how scary it is in Skyrim when a dragon lands in front of you and just spews fire in your face?
Yeah.
This will be fucking
in
terrifying.
theater mode, that was horrifying.
Yeah. This will be awesome.
Moving on, we got, this is where we get the VR section. We got Star Child, which was a game, and it didn't think too much. I don't remember what it was. I wrote
It was
down.
the side-scrolling.
Oh yeah,
like,
it's sort of with the guy from like the
big robot thing.
big robot that looked like a razor, with an eye on it.
I mean, it looks good. You throw your pen. They probably should have saved Skyrim till last.
I think that would have been a good VR kicker at the end.
Yeah.
Like, okay, VR.
Oh,
Oh my god. Yeah. Next up was The Impatient, which is from Supermassive Games. This is confirmed as a Until Dawn prequel.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ooh. I'm trying to think how that fits with the story. Must be following a different character.
Or maybe not be following a character. Maybe it's following the experience. Like I know there's the big because in the game, like they've got that weird clown looking motherfucker. You know in
Rush of Blood.
Rush of Blood.
Oh, I thought you were
is that
thinking of the base
character
game.
in Until Dawn?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Because I was gonna say like you know at the end when it comes down and he eats you at the end like is the guy with the mask gun, right?
I need to see a picture so I can remember.
Because I'm thinking like are they explaining the origins of that character maybe? Because I've seen pictures of him in
Blood.
the Until Dawn. I'm sure I have.
Clown? Is that
It's not a clown. It's just
the
it's just the.
This is the end boss.
It's the boss.
Level?
Yeah.
Rush of Blood boss.
Not Russia. Not just even just put Until Dawn boss.
No, I remember all the Until Dawn bosses, but I need to see him in Rush of Blood. No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Oh wait. You mean
That
with
guy?
the funny teeth?
Yeah, funny teeth.
Yeah, he's in the original game.
Yeah, so that's something. That's I thought. It's a mask.
It's a mask. Yeah.
So maybe they do some more prequel-y things about
No, because
funky
you find out
teeth.
who it is behind the mask.
Ah, dang, spoilers.
And it doesn't...
So that exciting?
I know. I'm just trying to think of where that fits, but until we get more info, I don't really know.
But fuck all these VR games. Fuck Skyrim VR. Because you know what you need? Fantastic Fishing Final Fantasy 15 VR. That's not what it's called. I kind of added. I just wanted things to start with F.
It looks rad.
It does.
It looks so rad.
Like, I'm not kidding. It actually looks kind of cool.
I didn't finish Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah.
I ended up trading in, not because of the story or it looked fucking awesome, but the combat, I just couldn't click, didn't like it. But I spent more time fishing in that than I actually spent world exploring.
I spend more time fishing in Harvest Moon and Stardew Valley more than I do anything.
It's the fishing in Final Fantasy 15, even just the regular game, not the VR really because it's not out. It's very involved.
Yeah,
and
it looks batshit. I
found it really fun. You're pulling it up and then it jumps out of the water and it's this big fucking Leviathan thing.
You know what's great though? So a couple of years ago when they sort of were demoing VR stuff, they showed what was who's the blonde one in Final Fantasy? Like Noctis? Prompto? They showed Prompto and you were Prompto. I think you could sort of jump around and fight this big boss. That demo I think that's gone. That is, okay. I don't think that's what the Final Fantasy VR is anymore. I think this is it. I think they understood that, okay, we can't... This doesn't work in terms of the jumping around, fighting a big boss.
That style of game.
That style, it doesn't fit the VR.
Fishing.
So what's one of the most popular things to come out of Final Fantasy 15? Fishing.
All they could do is Final Fantasy 15 and Chocobo Racing. That'd be fun too.
That's how Wii's happen. Next up was another and we should mention as well Final Fantasy Fantastical Fishing VR. I forget what it's actually. It's called Master of the. Looks like penis. I know my handwriting is appalling. It's in September. Next up was another Supermassive game, which I thought was very interesting. It was called Bravo Team. It was like a little sort of first-person shooter, but in the same way, it looks as if you're using the aim controllers, which is great.
Yeah, you need more use out of that. You paid for it.
I did pay for that one.
Yeah.
I haven't got back to Farpoint yet. Only because I'm just dicking around.
Yeah, that looked good, but the last game they showed actually really made me go, this looks fantastic.
Oh, I went the other way.
Moss.
Yeah.
I thought it looked great. Really, really heavy fantasy setting. It seems to be one of those stories that will be lighthearted in presentation, but when you play through it, it's actually quite dark and sad.
What I did like about it though is because everyone sort of has this misconception about VR that it needs to be first person. I think it can allow you to have a different look at a world.
Think Marble Mountain.
Yeah, Marble Mountain was vomiting induced.
I still have that marble.
Yeah, mine's somewhere. Yeah, so that is it's all about it's third person, it's looking down on the world. I think that's good as well. I think that's a great way to play as well. So you can actually look at the world in a different way. What was that old game? Black and White.
In VR. You
I have
love
Black
that game,
Knight 1 and 2. No, I
Yeah.
love it. I love that game so
That'd be
much.
cool. Like a real-time strategy.
It's a shame
game
the
as
Lionhead
well.
Studios is dead.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Rip. That was it for VR. So 6 titles, which made your prediction correct.
My prediction was more than 5 VR and no less than 5 Vita titles.
No less than 5.
Oh, it's no less than 5 VR titles and no more than 5 Vita titles.
Vita didn't even
You're
get
fucking none.
Vita didn't even get its name on the screen
It's
at any point. It's
nothing.
Gone.
It's
well. and
this is
truly
the
gone.
final ending of the Vita.
Yeah.
That's the real rest in peace.
Yeah, as long as indies want to keep putting stuff on it, it'll keep happening. But Sony are fucking done with it.
It's done. Next up is The God of War.
I was already sold on it.
Yeah, I
So
didn't need more selling.
anything else I saw was just icing on the cake. It's a pretty heavy story trailer.
It showed a little bit more about the relation between Kratos and his son.
Yeah.
Atreus. It's like Atreyu.
Atreyu!
That's what I thought it was
It's not
Atreyu, but it's RTS or something.
Yeah, something like that. It seems to be a very personal story. The Kratos was talking to a girl at some point who just said, you're not that bad guy anymore. Your son needs you, and then
This boy is not your past.
yeah, and the kid was having a conversation with him, and Kratos is saying, when you kill an enemy, you have to like block your emotions. You can't feel, and the kid's like, but not all people are bad. And yeah, it seems to have a real kind of
They're sort of touching into the essence of God of War, which is murdering people, and it's sort of like discussing. I think it's putting an emotional spin behind that. I think it's very, very cool.
yeah, and the creatures look batshit crazy.
Yeah, and they did show some combat. Now, when they showed last year, they showed the combat between that big giant ogre-looking thing. Like, it was because it was kind of a boss. It was very slow and methodical, sort of. Where this was like the snippets they used in this was just the chaos.
Yeah, very
the chaos.
fast.
What you want? That's it's a lot of spinning, a lot of mashing. Like it won't be
when he got hit with the big like fire log thing, like you really felt it. Like
so it won't be as sort of crazy combos that I'm thinking you'll see from like
it doesn't seem to
with
be.
the Chains of Olympus, not sort of
It was different
Chains of Chaos
point of
or
view
whatever.
camera as well. It's more of like a third person.
Blades of
Like,
Chaos.
the camera is pulled down behind him instead of kind of hovering above.
So as a result, that will change how you fight.
Yeah.
You'll be focusing very forward. You'll
Yeah,
be able
you
to look
can't see
back.
all around you.
So with God of War 3, as I said, I've been replaying that at the moment. Like you're fighting over here, someone you can see them,
can see
so
them
you know what
seemed to be some cool combo moves with his son.
Yep.
There was one particular one. I think the son like grabbed onto one's head and like stabbed it, and then Kratos came up and started killing it. So
I have reason to believe that his axe
meow meow
is meow meow.
meow 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 meow.
I have a feeling it's
I don't know
it's
if in the
meow meow.
lore it is a mace or it's just a weapon. Which
I think it's just a weapon.
So it does have it does have that very he puts his arm out like Thor does in it, and he catches it.
It's meow meow.
Yeah, meow meow.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it is cool.
Because Norse mythology, what's more Norse than Thor?
I wonder if he fights Thor and Chris Hemsworth does the voice.
Oh, dude, imagine that's how they start the game, but you have to beat the piss out of Thor.
And take meow meow.
Like,
Or you stole it and Thor's chasing you for meow meow back. I don't know.
give me back my meow meow.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's my meow meow.
You fight Odin.
Oh damn, that's pretty cool. But the thing is, the same story. Like this storyline doesn't fit that whole revenge, take down the gods.
No, it doesn't.
yet.
It's just, I guess it'll be interesting to see if they show at all what happened between God of War 3 and 4.
I think there'll be that'll be like the
Like
the prologue.
The prologue.
Yeah.
Just like a.
I think you'll play some of it.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. So one of the questions we did receive from Jet as well was, where does this story go now? Because if you remember right, at the end of God of War 3, he straight up destroys the world pretty much.
Yeah.
So like, what does that mean? How does he get from there to here? Something. I'd be curious. That's what I'm curious to see.
You know how the games do like the narrator and the scrolls with like the drawings that come up as they're narrating. I'd be happy with a couple of minutes.
If it's like Athena, it's like Kratos left there and went over here.
He found a portal to another world.
It's like, he did it because fuck you, that's why.
Fuck you, Kratos. I hope you die.
No, it's like fuck you to the viewer. It's like, because fuck you, it's what the story
Fuck
is.
you, that's what happened.
Yeah. Like,
Athena! Language!
what's you like? Oh, well, I guess. Can't dispute that. Yeah. It's like, fuck you. You were going to buy it anyway.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what we make, like, batshit story we made this, like, you're going to buy it.
Yeah. That, his son, Atreus, whatever his name is, him
Or
seemingly...
Kevin, as we named
Yeah.
him in the stream.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, we named him Kevin.
So Kevin seemingly being able to communicate with the creatures
as
well.
we see that
we saw
snake
towards
with the
end.
beard, because everything has a beard in this game.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Well, everything's old.
See, my theory is that Kevin just knows how to talk to beards.
Oh.
Yeah.
So Kratos shaved, it'd be like...
Kratos shaking like...
Dad, what's going on?
So like
Daddy.
the snake puts head hands. What's the snake can say? It's like, hey man.
Oop.
So it'll be like when he bumps in that woman earlier. He
Yeah.
understands her because she has a secret beard. You know.
Secret beard.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'd be interesting to see how that plays into it too. But I'm sold. But no date.
No date, early 2018, which fits what I predicted March.
Yeah.
I think that still certainly stands. I think it will. I still think it'll hit March.
If it's not out in March, then it's not early 2018.
Boom.
It has to me, early 2018 means quarter 1 2018.
Yeah, which is December through to March.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jan through to March.
Jan through March. Yeah.
Next up is Detroit Become Human from Quantic Dream.
I think they made a mistake. Yeah. I think what they showed, one went too long.
Yes.
Way too long. But see, the trailer we got for Detroit last year, I never heard of it. It did get me because it did show a lot of inner confliction and really heavy emotional choices. It seemed to be a really difficult game to get through in terms of decisions you had to make, whereas this just seemed like Watch Dogs with androids.
Yeah, this trailer is tonally different to what we saw last year, and I think that is to its detriment. What we saw last year was awesome. What we saw last year was incredibly David Cage.
Yeah.
Incredibly.
Yeah, I'm a flood.
Incredibly. Let's go.
Catch 'em wabbits.
Yeah, it's incredibly Quantic Dream. Like, as in it's decisions. It's picking and choosing. Like, you tell the story. Like, you know, for me, if I remember like the game Fahrenheit, right? I think it was called. I forget what it was called in the US. Fuck. I don't remember what it's called in the US, but it doesn't. The Indigo Prophecy is what it's called in the US.
Okay.
Yeah. So, like, one of the first things you do is at the start of the game is your character's possessed. You kill a dude in a bathroom, and you have like there's about 40 things you can do in the room. I'm exaggerating. And each thing affects the story.
Okay.
So what you need to do is you need to, like, okay, do I hide the body? Do I hide the weapon? Do I clean the weapon? Where do I put it? You have a set time limit and you go boom, 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 boom. And that's what I got out of that first trailer for Detroit was like, okay, I've walked in the room. I clearly have a set time limit because there's a hostage situation out there. What do I pick up? What do I look at to get the knowledge that I need? And that will affect the story.
Yeah, and as much of a tagline as it is for video games to say every choice has a consequence, most of the time it fucking doesn't.
Yeah.
But this last year's trailer seemed like it did because you give that answer and then you get these 5 answers which you wouldn't have got if you didn't pick that answer. Like, it seemed every single thing you chose really
like a small ripple effect. Yeah.
And from what I saw from this trailer was Watch Dogs and Infamous put together, whereas you got your good, your bad, like chaotic or passive, and you're like, you know, you're tagging walls and you're, you know, fighting the cop robots. It just didn't do it for me.
Yeah, and it had the guy from the Grey's Anatomy too.
Who was that?
Like the
Marcus.
Marcus, the brown guy, the baldy brown guy.
Baldy
With
brown
very
guy.
sharp eyes in Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like he looked good.
He looked exactly like him.
Yeah,
as a person. And that's my concern. Now, a game that does have that level of choice and that level of creative control in terms of as the player, that explains why it's taken so long. But this is getting. We know this game's been in the work for a while. Yeah. I'm curious at where they're at, how far away it is, because we got nothing, no date, no window, nothing. This game could be a fucking year out, 2 years out for all we know.
Which means, seeing as we didn't even get a window, it means they got no fucking idea.
Yeah.
They can't confidently give it a window at this point.
Yeah, they can't even say 2018, which is bad. Real bad.
Really bad.
And if we see Detroit again next year, E3, that's 3 E3s in a row.
Yeah, but next year's trailer will be like a FPS trailer because they just changed
just tonally retired. Speaking of FPS, Destiny 2.
So keen. So keen, man. I think... Did we talk about Destiny at all in any of these other episodes?
You talking about how you jump back in?
Yeah, jump back in, having fun. Got through the vanilla story, got to the Taken King story, which I think is the last expansion.
It is,
yes.
Expansion. Yes.
It is great.
Would you happily do it again with me?
Yeah.
Cool.
The Taken King expansion actually told a fucking story. And a good story, and the set pieces and the levels that you do. I remember there was one in particular. It was a level where I had to go into like the hive burrows underground, and most missions are 20 minutes ish. Get in, do the thing, get out. I was in there for probably about an hour, and just the ambience and the setting actually I was scared. I was literally scared to turn a corner and see what was around there, and then towards the end of it, it faked me out because I killed the bad guy, and then the mission timer starts ticking. So I put the controller down, went to grab a can of Coke, and then the ghost goes, "Incoming, incoming!" And the timer disappears, and then all these hives start pouring out of the walls.
Nice.
And the ghost is going, "Run, run, run, run!" That's one of my, like, being chased is one of my things.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it, and that's what it really got me. So, and it's just telling a really good story. And from what I've seen from the trailer, even we got today, it looks great. It sounds cool. The bad guy boss, whoever he was, the guy narrating the trailer, looks boss. He looks so good. If Taken King's any indication on what Bungie have learned from Destiny 2 should be what everyone thought Destiny 1 was going to be.
Oh, yeah. There's some incredible little think pieces on YouTube about Destiny and the game that it was meant to be, and sort of what were some of the issues during development that caused the game that we now know it as. It's very fascinating, incredibly fascinating.
I've watched a few myself too, but being it was shown at the PlayStation conference, it comes with a lot of exclusive stuff.
Timed exclusive stuff.
Timed for a year.
Wow.
There's a strike, which is a
big deal.
A dungeon. I'm pretty sure it said a PvP map, weapons, gear, a ghost skin or something like that for a year.
It's pretty big.
For a year. It's insane. I hate it. Even though I've got it on PlayStation, I hate it. For that long, I can't get on board with it. It's like a big fuck you to... I know it's meant to be a big fuck you to the other consoles, like Xbox, but it's not the players...
And PC now.
Yeah, but it's not the players' fault on those consoles that they have to miss out on this stuff.
Speaking of exclusives, though, the conference closed out with Insomniac's Spider-Man. I think it looked good.
It looked really good. It was from the 10 minutes roughly of gameplay that we saw, it seemed to be a really good mix of
It's Arkham Spider-Man
into a cutscene, into a quick time event, and then back into playing as well.
So
it seemed to flow really well without needing to kind of stop at all.
Like the whole thing, there was no loading screen. Like, granted, it's a teaser trailer, so it's like no loading screens. Yeah. But like it looked pretty seamless in terms of you're in a fight, then it's like, okay, now you have to scale this building, and then you pick and choose where you want to go. Draw distance looked great. That sort of creative freedom to go where you want looked very interesting, and I hope that's sort of really fleshed out. And then you get into a fight, it gets really sort of Arkham, which is a lot of jumping, flipping, watching all the enemies around you, using the environment to your advantage. Yeah. So whipping over there, grabbing a brick or something, and flinging another. Using the webs, which is really cool.
The web bomb from the movie as well, or the grenade or whatever it was. That was pretty cool. He seemed to. I said to our buddy Joel, because we were talking about it as it was happening. Hey,
I wasn't. Social media lockout.
Yeah. I said
that was a tough thing, by the way.
The combat seems really kind of creative, as in the way he's using his webs to do things. He's like you said, fluent, but also
fluid. As in it's just like. Oh. Like it's all kind of, like it does. It's not like, okay, grab that over there. Okay, over here.
It all flows together really well.
It's all very one movement.
But it's also just things we haven't really seen before. Just the way he was webbing people and stuff is just I haven't seen that before. Like when he saved the dude that was about to be shot, he like webbed him and then jumped off the beam, which then hoisted him up, and then he used that same web to swing and start attacking the bad guys. That was so fucking cool.
In the same sort of vein, like the God of War has, right? Like you're fighting, mash, and then it goes into a quick time event. It felt that same sort of fluid motion, as in like you're fighting the guy. All right, now you've triggered a quick time event. Do what you need. Something cool happens. Jump back out. You're back in the fighting.
Yeah, well, even like he swung in. The camera panned into like a little cutscene. Then he did the fight, and then it turned into another cutscene, which then turned into a quick time event, and then you were scaling the buildings in real time. It just, everything seemed to flow really well.
The only thing I'm curious about though is, so you're chasing down a helicopter which is dragging this big thing behind it.
Yeah.
I'm curious on what button, like whether it can web somewhat automatically or somewhat intuitively, because it looked chaos. Like you're running down the street, you're jumping, and like on a trailer, it looked great. It looked really kind of fluid to jump and fling around. But how does that play?
Well, I think Arkham Knight did really well with Batman, and he kind of, however they did it, he always seemed to grapple to where you wanted to go.
Yeah, I don't mean that way. So like even in Arkham, like you're gliding, you're grappling, it's still very 1, 2, 1, 2, 1.
And even in this, we saw Spider-Man can actually run across the walls as well and up.
Yeah, so you can see him running up a wall and around walls, and he kind of, as he hits the corner, he jumps around webs and then goes back around, and then that's what I'm curious to see, is how intuitive is that? Like, if you run and jump around the corner, will that do it itself? Do you just have to press a trigger button and then you keep running? You know, like I'm curious to see how that part plays.
Did you watch after credits scene for that?
Yeah, with Miles Morales by the looks of it. That's pretty cute.
Are they gonna?
I think just
it'd be interesting to see where they are. I don't know who the villain was in that trailer. I don't know.
Mr. Negative or Dr. Negative or something. I don't know. Joel,
I'm not the biggest follower of Spider-Man.
Me either. Joel told me who that guy was. Apparently he's quite powerful. We saw a bit of William Fisk as well.
Saw that in his orange jumpsuit. Saw his name around on all construction things. It looks good.
Yeah, and that closed up the conference.
For 2018.
2018. Obviously no date, but that's pretty impressive.
That closed off the conference, and I guess my biggest irk is we got no dates again.
Yeah,
we got no dates last year. We got no dates this year.
Well, let's jump into a couple of things, side things, so things we noticed. Now, one thing I noticed Sean Layden say at the end, which was really interesting.
Yeah,
he said, and I don't quote, but it's pretty damn close. He
said, and I'm making this up.
That is what you're going to see on the PS4 Pro and the VR in the coming year.
Yeah.
Not the PS4 and the VR, the PS4 Pro specifically and the VR. Now, mind you, the video they showed at the end did show the PS4, but like, is this that shift? Is this them going, we're now focusing Pro and VR?
No. Not even close. They only just stopped support for the PS3.
No, I don't think stopping support, because whatever, they are still making PS4 games. Like, that's not a thing. Like in like, is this where they go, okay, now it's on a PS4 game that can be upscaled to Pro. It's a PS4. It's a Pro game that's downscaled to PS4. Is this that moment? Now that the Scorpio's out and they know what it is, know what it can do, like, is this where they go now?
Maybe. And if so, that doesn't bother me. As long as
it doesn't bother me at all, because I'm a Pro.
You got a Pro and a 4K anyway. But as long as I can buy the new fucking game and play it, like, the graphics in 4K is still just the thing that I'm not too fussed on, maybe because I don't have it, because I can't afford it, but I'm more than happy with what I've got. No,
it was just the wording that interests me the most.
Yes, but if that was the case, I'd imagine the internet would fucking explode. But
because I said I've been off internet, so I have no idea anyone else picked that up, or is it just me?
I was perusing Reddit this afternoon. I didn't really see any mentions of that.
I might have to pull the stream up again and just have a rewatch. Yeah. I was eating chicken nuggets at the time, so I may have got distracted.
Yeah, that wouldn't bother me too much.
So what are some things that we thought were going to be there that weren't? Like Bloodborne 2?
Nothing from Software, which is the first year since they released Dark Souls 1 that they haven't been at E3 with something.
Yeah, every year they're like, boom, boom, boom.
There's always something in DLC or the next one. There's always something. It's first year with nothing.
Yeah, many outlets predicted Bloodborne 2.
Yeah.
And whether that was all being sort of red herring this entire time.
Yeah, maybe.
Not too sure.
Nothing more on The Last of Us 2, which I'm glad.
Thank Christ.
Yeah, I'm happy with
and one of the things I mentioned when we in the stream, I wrapped up my thoughts, was like, no Last of Us 2, excellent. Hell yeah, that's what I wanted. I want that game. All I wanted last year, I thought it was great. It was a great drop at PSX. Yep. It's like, we're working on this.
Just
You'll
to let
see
you know.
it when it's ready.
Yeah, just to let you know. See, we talked in the last episode about early announcements and stuff. That what we saw from The Last of Us 2 at PSX wasn't an announcement. It was just it's a more.
It wasn't an announcement. It's just going. This is
It's a tip of the hat to the players, just to let you know, instead of a PR press statement, we're working on it.
Yeah, it's coming.
It's coming. Instead of just writing a Twitter thing going, hey, working on Last of Us 2 now, it's a more Naughty Dog way of going, we're doing it.
Yeah, we gave you something. It's hype train.
Yeah.
But the problem is that once again, the expectation that's going to be, everyone's like, but knowing that they didn't come this year, that's good.
Yeah.
Because like in terms of like slowing down that moment, everyone's going to be like, well, it didn't come last year, I guess. And
Yeah, which
no Death Stranding as well in the same breath, which I'm
Kojima
so happy
at all,
with.
which is fine.
Look, I'm wearing a Kojima shirt right now.
Yeah.
Like, I love Kojima.
Keen as mustard.
I'm keen as shit for that game. But knowing that it's like, we're going to step away this year, we're going to work on it and make a good game. I'm like,
yeah. Nothing on
what else? Spyro was a prediction. I think that, like, if anything, that might be a PSX later in the year, depending on the sell, on the numbers of Crash.
Well, one of the rumors going around now in regards to Crash is people digging through the trophy list seem to think that they've snuck Crash Team Racing into this remaster. That's just a rumor. But apparently people are reading the trophies, and a lot of the trophies don't.
Holy shit! We'll know in actually 2 weeks.
Yeah, a lot of the trophies don't make sense for what the Crash games are, or something like that.
Okay.
But they do make sense in terms of Crash Team Racing.
I'll have to have a
And
look.
the developer said,
There's something coming.
no, he said, depending how this goes, I'd love to work on another Crash game like Crash Team Racing. Like he name dropped it. So whether it's just Reddit throwing shit together like Reddit does, but that would be really cool.
It's the conspiracy theory of the internet.
Yeah, like we said at the start, this conference was good, really good, not fantastic. I think they just suffered from maybe announcing too much last year. Seeing as God of War, Detroit, and Days Gone still don't have dates, they could have held one of them for this year.
Well, that's I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna pull out the secret mouse.
Don't cancel.
Let's have a look at some of the things we got here. Joel would like you to explain why were you not excited for Shadow of the Colossus. I think you may have touched on that.
Yeah.
Let's see. That is more of a general question. Here we go. Dave asks, what is Sony's move for November? How can they stop Microsoft from stealing the holiday period?
Third-party deals. They got COD.
That's pretty much what it looks like, right? So with no big first-party game released into this year, I think they are sort of resting on what they've got. They're like, look, October, September, I think it's September, we've got Destiny. October, we've got Call of Duty pretty much up our sleeves. Like, the end of this year is looking fine. Yeah. It's good.
I think I was talking to Joel again because we were talking through the whole conference. They seem to be slowly shifting to doing all their big first parties at the start of the year and then third parties at the end of the year.
Yeah,
kind of separating it a little bit. I mean, things are ready when they're ready, obviously. I wouldn't worry that none of these big first party games are coming out this year. We've had such a good start to the year with first parties. They set the bar high, but we can't get greedy about it either.
Yeah, no, I agree with that too. Like, and I think in terms of it going, look, yeah, the first part of the year normally, except for this year, has always been quite dry and empty.
Yeah.
Right? So for them to come out and sort of bring a bunch of cool shit out, like, and if they aim for that period,
and we're going to get the Horizon DLC sometime later this year. That'll be something just to kind of carry it over.
Yeah. So and like with August we get Lost Legacy as well. So there's a couple little things to sort of tantalize the taste buds.
Yeah. Stimulate your palate.
Yeah.
See, I know we're not comparing conferences now, but I wouldn't worry too much about Microsoft stealing thunder at the end of the year because there's just no big games coming from them to go with it so far.
Yeah. Dave also asked, what is Sony saving for the PlayStation experience at the end of the year? Will we get firm dates or something new entirely?
I'd like what month
PSX is normally December. It's first week of December.
By then, God of War better have a fucking date. If they're saying Q1 and it hits PSX and they don't give it a date, something's kind of gone wrong. So yeah, I reckon they'll save dates for probably God of War and Days Gone for PSX.
Yeah.
That would be time for maybe just an update from Naughty Dog on The Last of Us 2. Not dropping anything.
It was a year in dev then. Yes.
Yeah, it'd be just over a year.
Or at least maybe show, like, because people love Naughty Dog. So I think even a dev diary of Naughty Dog would be fine.
Yeah.
Just show Troy Baker and all that.
Just have them talk about the process, because the making of The Last of Us is one of the best documentaries I've ever watched. It's so fascinating. And Neil Druckmann is just an adorable man to watch on camera too. I don't know. Yeah, we'd have to get a couple of dates. Maybe if Crash went super, super well, maybe they will say, hey, okay, because Crash went well, we're doing Spyro now. That's
what I'm thinking. Yeah, it'll be 6 months. They can look at the numbers from then. So I was having a read through the other questions. A lot of the other questions are very general E3 focused. So they'll be answered in the next episode.
Cool.
Your chair's make big farty noises.
That's my chair. No, that's me because I'm really sick. That's my bum making farty noises.
Yeah, look, the conference was fine.
What's your game of show from the conference?
Only because out of just pure surprised because I told myself that Bethesda were buttholes for Skyrim VR.
Yeah.
I didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
Out of all the things, I did not see that coming. Shadow of the Colossus was the same thing. I didn't see that coming, but when they showed them, like, that's fucking Skyrim.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
like that's where like it took the wind out of me. I dropped my jaw. I thought that was a fantastic announcement.
Yeah.
How it plays is obviously one thing I'm really keen to see.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily we're doing good with PlayStation and we're doing good with Bethesda, so we should
Yay.
still be able to get our hands on it
Until
whenever
Bethesda
that is
hears
confirmed.
talk about their conference.
That doesn't change the fact.
That's us and everybody fucking else.
Yeah.
I want to
But
say
yeah.
God of War, obviously, but no, Destiny 2 for now.
Isn't it funny we both chose third parties?
Yeah.
Maybe that says a lot about the conference.
Because the first parties jerked our dicks for the last 4 months.
They have.
They like really hard.
It's chafe. Yeah, it's
Chafe.
red. It's raw.
Yeah.
I'm not saying stop.
No,
It's
I'm
just-
not
it's
going
just red
to.
and raw. It's red. It's just red and raw.
Got to give the third parties a go at our job.
What did you think of the Sony E3 press conference of 2017? Are you excited by what was listed? Are you a little bit concerned about the no dates as I shift the mouse off camera? Let us know in the comments below. And where else can they comment and discuss with us?
I was going to segue myself, but you kind of started it for me anyway. If you enjoyed that conversation, you can join in with many more on YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, Facebook, and all other major social media outlets.
Links in the
The
description.
biggest conversation the biggest conversation is always in our Facebook community group, facebook.com/groups/the PopCulturists. And if the
And if you really like us,
we have a Patreon too.
if you really like us, head to patreon.com/thepopculturist and toss us a few bucks if you think we are worth it.
You can get this show early for some money.
Yeah, for some money, make the show a little bit early, which is kind of cool.
The tears.
Anyway, I'm Ryan Betson,
I'm Josh Saunders.
and that was for the players.